Outside Steve Pierce's office, even in the shade, it's close to 100 degrees. But even in the heat, it didn't stop people from coming out. Local representatives and local members of the clergy, they all came to support the nuns on the bus. These nuns are part of a national lobby group from Washington, D.C. It's called Network. Network's director for the last 9 years, Sister Simone Campbell, decides what issue to tackle every single year.
So what we did was, for mission, we went out on the road to push back against the Ryan budget.
This year, instead of the Paul Ryan budget proposal, it's immigration.
We said, well, we had some success before. Why don't we go out on the road and stand with the Republicans, especially, who have been in favor of comprehensive reform, and push a few others to get involved, and then stand with others who either need pushing or support to make sure that comprehensive immigration reform happens now.
Campbell says D.C. legislators may not all understand immigration the way the Southwest does.
I'll tell you, this has been an education for me to hear the reality of the border, because in Washington, D.C., they don't know the reality. Many northern congressional members or members of the Senate want to perpetuate fear that we should just be afraid of each other. That's not who we are as a nation, and what we found here is community.
The nuns arrived not in habits, but on a tour bus. They walked from the bus to Steve Pierce's local office to ask him to change current immigration law. We were asked to stay outside, but Pierce's communication director, Eric Lair, had this to say in a statement. Congressman Pierce welcomes constructive dialogue on this important issue because he understands that we need real solutions for all those waiting to become Americans. He is actively seeking ideas and feedback from people of all backgrounds to work around real immigration reform. The Catholic Lobby Group's website calls for comprehensive immigration reform, asking for a, quote, clear and direct pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants in the U.S. Catholic minister Vincent Peterson came all the way from Tortugas to see the nuns.
When we throw our arms open and welcome people, as many of my own ancestors were, and we do that today, we continue a beautiful American tradition.
Other faiths were represented as well. Rabbi Larry Carroll of Temple Bethel tells me even as a child growing up in Kansas City, he understood what immigration meant. His grandparents came to the U.S. from Lithuania.
The rules were such that they were able to be here, to live here, without fear of anyone looking at them and saying, well, we're going to deport you because you're not a citizen. And I don't really see the reason why now anything should be different.
Rabbi Carroll says he tries to use the word aspiring citizens
rather than undocumented immigrant.
State legislator Bill McCamley was on hand to show his support for the nuns.
It's time. We have a situation where our laws don't reflect the reality of what we have here in the country.
Ultimately, the issue will come down to a U.S. congressional vote, which could come at any time. In Las Cruces, Sloan Patton, KRWG News.